take it to the late game. The only question mark for me is this Medusa on the offlane and how well Noob is gonna do on it.
Did indeed go for the undulation talent, as we saw from 33 when deploying this Medusa in the offlane. So we'll see how this facet impacts the game. Now we get into it. Game 1 of the El Clasico Grand Final here in the MESWA region. Let's go, baby!
I love the tips, you know. I love the tips. The tips from TA2000 and Noob, because the two of them played together, right? And now they're playing two different heroes, like two completely new heroes, and they're like, oh, cool new hero. And meanwhile, Amaris, he doesn't know, like trying to hide that it's a new hero as well for Noob.
I like that you draw that contrast between the two of them having played together, because usually when they were on Quest, they'd be the ones competing against Nigma, right? Sumail would be on the other team. They're here in the grand finals dealing with him, but now Noob and Omar, they've gone traitor, turned tail on the old boys. What can you do?
Yeah, who was it? It was Noob, Omar, TA2000. Who else? Was it ATF?
Noob, Omar, TA2000. Let me go check, actually. I kind of forget right now.
I can't remember.
I know they had Kaori at position 5. Kaori was position 5. Omar was position 4. I'm forgetting the offlaner. Noob was mid. TA2000
was it ATF?
It was ATF for a little bit. Then he left. Malik was the other one.
Yeah, Malik
he
is
eventually
a solid
joined
one
full
as
time.
well. Yeah. He's a real one. Like his a small stint in Spirit as well. I feel like he did very nicely, replacing Collapse. Not everyone would be able to do as well as he did. Centaur.
Centaur gonna get caught by a couple of stuns here, but they very quickly realize that they do not have the lockdown damage combination needed to make this happen, so just ends up being a bit of wasted mana for Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, what did they lose? They lost one Stormbolt, Arcane Curse as well, Avalanche. All these spells will be replenished by the time they get to the runes, so should be able to fight again. By the way, when it comes to facets, fine art on the Grimstroke, on the other Titan, deconstruction actually, so no momentum. Everything else kind of the same, besides the Medusa as well, going for undulation. How do you pronounce that? Is it undulation or
yeah,
undulation?
that was correct.
Undulation. Okay, close enough.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, something different, right? Like she is offlane, so not going for the other one.
See how it impacts how she goes in the lane. For now, we're just going to take a look at Sumail and Lorinov in this mid lane. The Tinker versus Storm. Of course, Sumail put on a clinic yesterday while playing the Tinker. How does this fare in terms of the heads-up matchup between these two? Like, should we expect either one of them to pull apart, or is it down to support rotations and like level 6 for the Storm?
It's just level 6 with the Storm, really. That's what you expect here in this lane. But what's cool about this lane for Storm is he's one of those rare mid laners that has a spammable last-hitting ability, so he doesn't care about laser. Because of that, this lane in general is good for Storm, and through the game it's a good matchup for Storm. So, yeah. Hence the pick. That's why they... I believe, like, you come into this grand finals and you let the Tinker go through. You lost to it yesterday, you let it go through to see if you can actually counter it. And then drafting becomes a bit easier for you in the next teams.
That's actually interesting. We see that more often, I think, from Eastern European teams, where they're willing to let through something that demolished them, figure out a counter. Started all the way back with Puppy. Good to see the tradition is still ongoing.
Yeah, it's like when you reach the grand finals, it becomes like a game of wits, right? And drafting it plays a huge part in how the series goes, so any advantage is nice to get. And if you don't have to ban out that Tinker suddenly, you remove one tool away from them.
GH was hoping for a bit more mana, can't get it. Instead, on the other side of the map, they find TA2000.
Damn.
Noob and Omar able to get that kill. That, you know, if I was about to ask you, where do you expect the first blood? And you are lying to me if you thought that Medusa's Tiny are going to kill Beast first.
No, absolutely didn't expect that one. But it's important that they did, because they struck before level 3. That's where TA2000 becomes a bit harder to deal with. I did not expect this first blood, especially because Medusa doesn't have Engorge or Venomous Volley, so you know, like she is not as, she doesn't have as much aggressive potential in this lane.
Just chilling for now. Mid lane, Tinker has managed to catch up in the CS department as well. Sumail, of course, abusing the March of the Machines to get as much out of this lane as possible. Are we going to see the same build that he went for yesterday? He went Boots Kaya Blink, right, at like 12 minutes or something crazy?
Yeah, I think that's something that we will see again. We might see a Hex coming out from him a bit earlier this game. Or I should say, we should see it coming out. I don't know if he even bought it yesterday. I think he didn't. He went Dagon E-Blade right in the end on Tinker.
Zapping fools top lane. They might try to zap Rain here as the ET gets tossed back. There's an avalanche into the Gorgon's grasp as well. Rain is gonna die here. Will they be able to counter onto Omar? TA2000 will do his best. Wive Hawk, dive bomb, and the additional right clicks will secure the kill. But it still did go the way of Nigma Galaxy first. Noob though, having his mana burnt away here by TA2000, but I don't think he's gonna be able to chase. 14 one charges, double null tallies, he's gonna be fine.
It looked like he struggled to hit the Hawk, to like right-click it. I think, like, we have full vision, but I think what was happening for him is it was flying over the trees and he was losing that vision a little bit. So he was kind of stuck there, just standing, blocking his Tiny even. But they do get the better trade, I still think. Like, they are the ones pressuring top.
Things though down bottom relatively more even. Haven't really had any kills just yet. The Hawk and the Sven just trading farm right now, and you kind of do expect this, right? I'm not really anticipating anybody except for maybe GH to die, but even then he has to be fairly out of position for that to happen. But oh, as I say that, they're gonna go on Ghost. Pops the Warcry, but he ends up going down. He ate the fine art from the trees. 1J, what a god, what an angle to curve that spell through.
Yeah, very nice fine art. He's been doing it through the lane, like from the start. And almost every single one connected. This is like a problem that Sven has. He has to commit so many resources to just have a normal lane. You know, a lot of offlaners can zone him. Even though they last picked this Sven, he's now 0-1 and forced to buy another set of tangles for himself. Rotation, silencer going.
He doesn't have much mana here, but he does have the mango. CQ does want to decide to pop it. Omar gonna go in. Will they try to close the gap? TA2000 knows something is up. The pings are coming out, and he is backing up. But still, they're going back in. Man, that's such a tantalizing target. But they realize that this is probably a debate.
One of the best resetters in the game, right? Elder Titan playing against you. He's only level 3, doesn't have Echo Stomp. They're still going.
They're gonna dive under the tower. They toss him back. The ET is not right next to him, but they're still alive. On TA2000 hasn't gone down just yet. One more right click will do the trick. GH getting some permanent agi for his efforts as well. Very nicely done. And I'm kind of surprised that Rain left the area. They knew that there were 3 heroes around, but that little second of movement enables them to get the kill.
Yeah, he left because it's also minute 6. He went to secure the runes. If you stay on top lane and no one shows up and they go for your rune, you probably feel kinda played. But if you secure the rune, at least that's kinda alright. Which did happen. Lorenov did get
himself is just farming. Getting closer and closer to finishing the treads. Whilst his counterpart is doing his own thing in the jungle. Man, it's actually been a while since we've seen this kind of meta where both mid heroes are prepared to just dip back into the jungle, not pressure the tower, just happily farming away.
Yep, so far so good for both of them. Tinker, of course, coming out on top a little bit. It's so much easier for Tinker to farm at this point, right? March with the Machines maxed out already. He's got some stacks in the triangle. This might be another small issue for them. The map is huge and you can find places to farm, but usually this is a place where Sven like to be, right? Like you'd like to have some fat stacks for your Sven to farm.
Man, it's like, brother, I'm the carry now. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm gonna take everything. And fortunately, though, Ghost was smart enough to move back. Rain made a rotation with like a lot of plus damage, but they can't find him. Ghost is still farming. He's chilling.
Yeah, it looks like everyone wants to be the carry on their side. You have the Medusa, the Tinker, the Sven. Medusa going for a Meteor Hammer, by the way. I love this with Kaya, right? And overall, just a pretty cool item on Medusa. Just 50% mana regen amp is always very welcome on her.
Gorgon's Grasp into Meteor Hammer combination is not fun to deal with. I can tell you that now, but very fun to watch, definitely. Baronov trying to steal some of these stacks that Sumelo's going to take later. They, of course, have this Observer Ward here. I wonder if he's going to try and move towards bottom, link up with his team, maybe put some pressure on the tower or just keep farming.
I think just keep farming. Everyone is. Storm kind of hunting the Radiant jungle, but also farming. Tinker farming. Beast as well trying to farm up these Ancients, but they've been warded a long time ago.
Gonna try go for the Beast, and he's inside the modular machines, forced to prop the Primal Roar onto the Tiny just to get himself away. That will keep him alive. Rain was also behind, went in with the Echo Stomp. Can he get out? Yes, he can. Nicely done.
They needed Stampede to kill him. Sorry, not Stampede, Global. They didn't use it. I feel like... I'm not sure what happened, why no Global was used, but if you use Global there, there's no Stampede, there's no Roar. Beast is certainly dead. But okay, you know, like you save it for maybe a little bit of a bigger fight. Lorenov just literally living in the Radiant jungle.
This is like, remember like 2 patches ago where as a carry, the moment you lose your tower, you just immediately TP to the other side of the map from the enemy jungle? It's like that right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He just made himself a little hut in this river. Can they get Ghost, by the way? What do you think?
If they see him... Actually, I'm not sure. They don't have access to the Stampede, so I don't think so. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, 1J is very deep, though. He's kind of behind everyone. Like you said, no
Phantom's
Stampede.
Embrace. They're not bringing in any additional heroes for the Radiant lineup. Instead, it's VP that's actually rotating the Storm down bottom, so they're not going to be able to catch 1J. But with the Storm coming through, maybe one of these cores could be bring down. 1J goes in, trying to save his life with the Inkswell. Not going to happen. He dies too quickly, and it seems like the rest of his team not really inclined to risk their lives to save him.
If they had that Stampede that they utilized earlier, this would most certainly be a dive on the Tinker or on the Sven. But of course, this way they couldn't do it because also Medusa TP'd mid. She couldn't really connect to the bot lane. I wouldn't mind seeing Gleipnir on Medusa, by the way. What do you think? Like, Atos to me looked like a really good item. You're playing into a Storm, some extra catch to help out the Tiny and the Sven.
I think that Gleipnir's suggestion is excellent. I like it a lot. Get yourself the additional stats, the mana and the intelligence coming out of it. I like it.
And he queues it up. Come on, man. We're in sync. It is a standard build, by the way. Nothing crazy here, so...
I have seen some of these Medusas when they play offlane go for forced off in some niche positions, but definitely Gleipnir makes more sense here. Just keep spamming out these meteors into the mid lane, and VP is going to be the ones forced to respond at some point.
Kinda cool. Resurrecting the Meteor Hammer on the Medusa. Like, that's one problem that this hero has, right? Like, playing offlane Medusa, you don't really threaten objectives, but Meteor Hammer, yeah, it kinda helps out. Definitely. Smoke.
It's a 3-hero smoke. They're going to come across these 2 supports who are going to break the smoke. Omar is the one on the high ground. Very nice avalanche there. There's the global silence coming in as well. Where's the follow-up, though, from the rest of Nigma? VP. Oh, my goodness. 2 heroes caught inside the Meteor Hammer. Lorenov falling so low. He needs to get out of here. He's still silent stop plays, so he just goes down. They lost Omar in the process, but hashtag worth. Noob will not connect with the Gorgon's Grasp onto the Hawk. The Centaur is still able to juke around this area, but here comes Ghost from the other side. Stormhammer, God straight going in. The Centaur losing his life.
So
very nice hook stop. That will buy some time, but unfortunately your tank ability means nothing in the face of the Sumail Tinker.
Absolutely. You looked very tanky, even being attacked by God's Strength Sven, like 300 damage, and he was still being tickled, basically. But of course, once Tinker shows up with his pure damage dealing laser, it's a completely different story. A cool outplay, by the way, from Nigma. Setting up around that ramp was beautiful. The global, the toss, and then another additional silence on Storm Spirit. Storm is supposed to Storm is supposed to be your answer to all your problems this game on VP. And right now, he's the lowest net worth core. Not really where you want him to be.
A solid item behind Sumail. The difference between them is literally a Kaya. He gets his now, but could still be dangerous. Might get net worth down bottom though as they go in onto this Medusa. They'd love to find this kill. Not picked up just yet. Soulbind between himself and the Tiny, but still alive for now. And Ghost and the rest of the gang now show up. Make VP think very carefully about how far they want to go for that kill.
A beautiful positioning by Omar. Just beautiful. Hiding in the trees. Throwing an avalanche on them. Saving Noob. Giving him just enough time to use one extra Mystic Snake. Just beautiful.
Now the Medusa has Days Gaze again, so you can't really go on top of her again. Maybe they try now. They find the Echo Stomp. 2-hero Earth Splitter might be there. Only connect onto Noob, but he's stuck on the high ground. They actually toss him forward. Shout out Omar. They stop this Stampede away on the Centaur. Gorgon's Cross, Meteor Hammer connects. They don't have the full capability of killing him off though. In the meantime, Ray taking a lot of damage from the Master of the Machines. And now dive in, Lornoff looking for GH, but the Global Silence immediately there to stop him from going. But it's going to end at some point. Lornoff now able to get the catch onto GH, and it looks like the Silencer will be the lone casualty of this fight for now. They're trying to make Omar join into that list. They run out of the catch on Lornoff. There's a Gorgon's Cross. No Mystic Snake anymore, but no more dive, no more mana. VP will back off.
They have the Aghanims to work with on TA 2000, but no mana on Storm made them go back. Global Silence this time around wasn't communicated that well, because Ghost, he popped God's Strength, and then he popped Mask of Madness, so he couldn't stun. That was the problem. So there's no follow-up for the Silent Storm. And hold that thought, Centaur.
Get him out of here. He does not have access to a Stampede, so he dies. More intelligence being taken by GH. The TP attempt from 1J should be successful. But
just
they've
to
been beating their heads onto this tower for so long.
Yeah, they can go for the Torby now, right? Just straight up, 15 minutes. They want to fight next to it. This is... And like you said, they're defending that they have a Tinker. This hero just loves defending forever and ever and ever.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, you were mentioning earlier how when you get to these grand finals, it is a battle of wits. And VP, so they assume they had the necessary plan to deal with this Tinker, but so far, it's not really panning out. It's a 6k net worth advantage for Nigma Galaxy. And of course, Sumail is sitting very pretty at the top of the net worth.
Yeah, you can have a plan all you want, and then you get lasered to the face by this Tinker. Doesn't matter what you pick, it seems like. Even though on paper the heroes that they've drafted for themselves look pretty damn good into the Tinker. They are yet to activate TA 2000. I feel like that's one thing that we're all waiting for. He's been very silent on a hero that usually creates a lot of impact once he gets that axe.
Let's see if he wants to wait for the Blink Dagger first before involving himself more forcefully in these engagements. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Nigma's going to give him free time to get there. They're already putting some pressure middle, taking the Watcher. We know that Noob has his Meme Hammer. So if they get anywhere close to the tower, it will take more damage than they would like to give up. Although, this will help a little bit. They're going to be paranoid about vision since they just got dewarded, so might stall out the push for a while.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So what do we have incoming right now on the Dire lineup outside of that Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster? Lornoff is trying to get himself towards a Manta. Needs a way out of that Global Silence ASAP.
By the way, I'm supposed to be the analyst here, and I have like, I'll tell you, I have 1,000 games on Grimstroke, I swear, like at least 200, more or less. Does his shard this spell on cast or when it ends? On Inkspell. On cast,
I
right?
think it's on cost, yeah, like, because they changed it. It used to be on the actual activation at the end, but then they changed it to be on cost now.
Okay, because then it's much better that he doesn't have, like, it would be really bad if he had this facet and the dispel was on the end because he couldn't control it. But this is, or maybe it would even be better because you could pre-cast it like a purge that Oracle can do against Global Silence.
Radiant's top tower is under
Triangle?
Getting jumped in the triangle. Global Silence will be there to try and bail him out of trouble. He does still have Stone Gate available, but doesn't even need it just yet. Here comes the God Strength. The rest of the lineup is here, but the Earth Splitter onto both him and the Tiny, bringing them very low, but they still end up killing off TA2000 first. He does eventually die on Ghost, and Omar almost loses his life. Laranov forces to chase him into the river, able to find that kill. So far, it's 2 for 1. Make that 3 for 1 because Sumail able to burst down Rain with the final laser of the fight. And Noob, the priority target, is still freaking alive here, Liz. And they need to be very careful because the longer they take to kill him, the more time that Sumail has to return into the fray. He's in the fountain, healing up, and they know that they have to leave. There's no way to chase anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy that they didn't kill off Noob in the end. Like, he managed to stick on the high ground. Of course, Storm had other pressing things that he needed to do. Chase Omar, killing him off, and then going back to help out Rain, who already died, of course, trying to take down Medusa. Beautiful Earth Splitter, beautiful initiation. But I have to say, I'm kind of worried for VP. What happens when they don't have that strong of an Earth Splitter? Because that was like... best case scenario, right? And they had Arcane Rune on Storm. Another thing that is like a pretty big deal in these early fights.
Dire are scanning.
Not just the perfect Earth Splitter, but the perfect time to catch Noob, right? They had him, most of his mana gone before he could even cast a single spell. And then only the initiation comes in dribs and drabs. It's not like the entirety of Nigma arrived all at once. It was a 1-by-1 type of situation, and it still went extremely badly.
Yeah, of course, on the other side, we had all the big ultis too used. The global, most importantly.
$6K gold lead now for Nigma Galaxy. Some consideration must be given towards when they feel confident enough to take the Roshan. Probably only after the BKB on Ghost.
I'm also looking on the other
Smoke up
side
for now.
and waiting to see what their solutions will be to the global, because he does have the reverberating silence, right? So reverberating silence.
TA2000 gonna get jumped right now. He doesn't have a BKB just yet either. Ghost goes on him with the God Strength. Do they have the damage? Yes. Sumail supplies it with the laser. And even if he wasn't there, they still had him in the Gorgon's grasp. He was dead to rights, and now the path to the tier 2 tower and the entire control of the triangle is open for Nigma Galaxy.
Global?
Global
Top?
Silence will be popped. It's reverberating on the Storm Spirit. He does have a Manta. Able to get himself just barely out of trouble. Zip away at the last moment. And expends all his mana to get back to safety.
Now I can pronounce it properly. Thank you. But yeah, they don't get the Storm, which is important. He moves away, even though they lost. Their Beastmaster. Perhaps they can set things up somewhere on the map. Still, though, their position 1 Beast, that's usually quite ahead in net worth, is struggling. But look at this, straight up to smoke.
Dire's middle
Ghost, of
tower
course,
is
not
under
having that
attack.
BKB. He might be a good target now that Global is down. But they know, they're moving back.
So it's supposed to be the best case scenario, but sadly they don't have the vision of the jump. And the rest of Nigma's also heading slightly towards the bottom. Noob, I think they saw the Gorgon's grasp and the snake onto the creep wave, but they don't want him. They want the bigger target, and they find him. Ghost is being gone on right now. Will attempt the TP out, but he knows that his life is forfeit. So nothing he can do. Just has to watch this happen and tell the team, guys, just stay back. We finally actually have to give up this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, without reverberating silence, you gotta you gotta go back and not fight. What's weird is that they managed to find a good angle for him. Of course, not only it was a weird angle, but a great angle for VP. And now maybe this is Rush even. Because they had to go through Tinker and Silencer, who was on the right side, and Tiny and Medusa, who were on the left. They just made it somehow past all of them. Mid lane?
Unfortunately, even though they did that, they cannot make it into the Roshan pit safely. There's just too many annoying spells. Mid lane, they're actually going on to Loranov. He does have the Manta again. Able to zip out, but once more, he's going to be forced into the base. So maybe... Can they Roshan this time? I don't think so, right?
Their rush is not that great. I mean, they do have Aghanims on Tinker, actually. That makes it a bit easier, but you have to commit a lot of mana. They have Blightmere on Medusa. How's the BKB on Ghost? Not there yet. I feel like both of these teams would be happier or more comfortable going into Rush when they get the BKB on Beast and the BKB on Sven. Look at these defense matrices, man.
What a spell. What a spell. Defense matrix on top of a Medusa. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, you need to buy some extra Solar Crest or something and just cast everything on her. Let's see how many shields we can get on top of one hero. Oh, she gets Warcry as well, right? Like, you get Warcry from Sven this game. You get a Glimmer from Silencer. Yeah, good luck killing her. BKB on Sven, and they go into the pit.
See how this is going to go through.
Is
there going to be a defense from VP? They don't even seem to know about this. There's no scan, there's no vision in the area, so they just have to give this one up.
No, they know. They already... ET was already there with one Spirit. But it's really difficult for him to be in position where he can use the Spirit constantly to scout. He's gonna send another one, but he can't even get there. This is how afraid he is of Omar. Because you don't see this tiny, and if you get closer, you might get tossed and caught, and then you lose Rush and another hero.
First ages of the game. Gold lead, not really that extreme in favor of Nigma Galaxy. It's 3k at the moment. But nonetheless, they have to worry now about losing their tier 2. It's been being massaged by quite a while by Noob, but with the protection of the Aegis, they are finally going to come and claim what has been theirs for quite some time. Omar, leaping forward, was trying to catch Rain with the Avalanche Toss combination. Fortunately for Rain though, there's also the Beastmaster there with some balls to just slow Omar's approach, so both heroes should be fine.
Yeah, they might set up on Sumail though. You see 1J and Loranov. I feel like the two of them with Inkspell on Storm. Sumail needs to be careful when defending.
You know, we were saying yesterday that it might be a mistake to give Sumail Storm again, or this Tinker. The thing that surprises me about how he's been playing this is that in the previous game where he played this, the reason he was so impactful on the map is that he was running around just like killing everybody, right? It was a solo Tinker show. Here he's been just farming and defending, and still the impact is quite massive. And now another kill might just happen. Laser out onto the Centaur. He's going to try and TP out. Do they have the angle to catch him? No. Yeah. Behind the trees, so no vision for the toss.
You know what's sad about this? What's sad for Nigma? The first thing is they didn't get the Centaur. But they should maybe be lucky because they were setting up 3 heroes on top lane to catch the Tinker from defending the tier 2 tower. And he probably would have, right? Like he always does, go into defense. So.
Get themselves now the new Tommy. Who is going to get this one? Goes the way of Ghost, you know. I mean, his side is pretty decent. Does help a lot against the Elder Titan, I suppose.
Yeah, they smoke up. Can they find anyone here? The BKB, of course, is done on TA2000 as well. Going for the Shivas next. A lot of armor, by the way, on Beast. Not as easy to take down by Sven.
Rushing to find something here. Sven coming on the back lines, blinks forward. They get the global silence out. Looking for some of these supports. So first one to fall is going to be the Grimstroke. 1J is gone. Rain still alive for now. Omar cannot find the correct angle. So looks like Rain and Dahak should be able to get back to safety. Maybe not Dahak, but very nice hoofstomp coming in from him. No, Ghost actually jumps the high ground to kill Rain. I don't know about this one, gang. He will end up
Defense
losing
Matrix.
his first life here, or maybe not. He's still fighting. The laser from Sumail helping out at the mischance, but eventually they are able to bring down the Sven. Life number 2 is on. He has a BKB at the ready. ET Splitter connects into onto him, but there's not enough follow-up damage to hold him in a really deadly spot. No lockdown, so he's just gonna get himself up.
Okay, so 2 supports with 1 buyback on position 5 for an Aegis, and no BKB even used on Sven. I feel like that's a win for Nigma, right? Like, yeah, sure you lose the Aegis, but you put yourself even further ahead. 9k advantage now in net worth.
You also got that fight at the perfect moment. You get to steal their Wisdom Shrine. Keep the supports further and further in the dumps. I mean, dude, look at the experience graph overall. ET is level 12 right now. My boy is struggling.
Yeah, his Earth Splitters have been amazing though. Like, so much impact from the zero. And honestly, when it comes to levels, he's got his natural order maxed out. He's got the Echo Stomp maxed out. As a support ET, when you're a 5, if your game doesn't go well, you can still have a lot of impact. High ground push though, incoming. Meteor Hammer spam.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now, what will you do to defend this one? They do have everything except for the ET Splitter. That's going to be up in the next 20 seconds. Enigma Galaxy, though, they have the Global Silence in 10. But crucially, they just picked up the
look at
BKB
Noob.
for the Sumail Tinker.
Yeah, that's a massive one as well. Now he doesn't have to be afraid of Storm, but GH maybe does.
Well, let's see what Storm can do here. There's going to be the Soulbind between the Silencer as well as the Storm. Storm Spirit trying to fight here. Global Silence will be out. They're trying to go in onto the Storm. Loranov gets saved by TA2000 with the Primal Roar, at least for now. Zips out to safety as he finished all his mana. Nice dive hole from TA2000. That will protect them for now, but Omar says no. The toss back is still coming for you, my friend. Delivers him into the waiting hands of the rest of the lineup. They brought him down, and sadly, Lizard, he bought out, so he doesn't have buyback available.
Oh man, this is like just perfect from Nigma. Textbook, not even the Silencer dies. Like, you jump him with Inkswell Storm Spirit and you can't even kill the Silencer. Somehow GH manages to pop his ult, and from that moment, like the moment the Global Silence is off, you know you're cooked on the side of VP.
Trying to delay proceedings, but unfortunately runs headlong into the March of the Machines without Gleipnir there. Ghost does lose a lot of HP in the meantime. Get another decent amount of spells coming in from Rain. Unfortunately, it's not nearly enough to actually threaten Nigma Galaxy with the lead they've amassed so far.
I love how they're not even trying to go on the Medusa, at least in these last couple of fights. Noob is absolutely ignored. They try to go on everyone else, but they've given up. They've given up killing this beast of an offlane Medusa. 15k net worth. Yep, hard to chew through.
You know, you're talking about how they've given up on this Medusa. They've been having such difficulty with Sumail. It sometimes feels like they forget he's there until he's starting to kill them. They're like, oh, by the way, we have to deal with this guy. So they're so preoccupied with trying to bring down GH, you know, trying to fight around Ghost. It's not that easy to keep a constant beat on where Sumail is, even though you do have some vision heroes.
It's just hard to choose the target, right? Like, I mean, it's not hard. You need to kill the Silencer, and then afterwards you can think about everyone else. But GH so far has been positioned really nicely, and you don't even know if you kill him, maybe he buybacks and globals anyway, right? So you have to keep that in mind as well. Jumping Medusa, of course, now she's got Hex to work with. If you jump her and you proc her Cold Blood Agnim's Shard, like, you might be controlled to death just by the Medusa alone.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
15k net worth lead for Nigma. They were moving for a big smoke, but unfortunately for them, so were VP. So VP took the Twin Gate, evaded their aggression, but they'll say, all right, if we can't find you, we're going to force you to come to us by just pressuring your buildings. We've already got a lane of racks down bottom. You don't want that to happen in the top lane as well.
Yeah, Noob just tanking it. Doesn't care about these tower hits.
Dire's top
But yeah, bot lane is being pushed in by TA2000 and Rain. Not too terrible. They are finding some space on the map. Lornov as well farming towards his Parasma. Game is not looking that great for VP, but if they set things up right and if they maybe get a kill on the silencer first, might be doable. My only problem is, where are the dispels? Like, how are you dealing with defense matrix?
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And it's not like any of your cores like to buy a nullifier, right, throughout the game, so the dispels have to come in another fashion. I mean, I get a Yule is being built up right now by the ET. That's something.
Yeah, Storm has Region Rune. Should be fine. Storm in the back. GH.
Yes, putting pressure on the map. GH is being jumped by Loranov. He did get off the global silence. He's not dead. Another defensive matrix keeps him alive. Loranov forced to use the BKB TP out just to stay living himself. Does bait out the global silence and exchanges that for a BKB charge. So I suppose that's a trade, but it still doesn't feel good that you still can't kill a 5 position alone.
Well, wait, God's Strength as well. Sven used that too. A lot lower when it comes to cooldown, but still, it's a cooldown that got used. So maybe you can fight after this without a BKB on Storm. It's not easy, of course. Guess what? Guess what Grimstroke is queuing up, by the way.
Well, we did say we want to see some dispels, so nullifier it has to be. If it can't be the Beastmaster that builds it, it's gotta be him.
Yeah, I love the Sigma moment as well, voice line, just as I see that. So for everyone in the chat, 1J on the Grimstroke, he's queuing up a nullifier. That's how desperate they are for some dispels this game.
And I suppose, given that the Medusa is playing a offlaner, not playing core, it's not as necessary for you to pick up like the Ags, right? Like Dark Portrait is amazing against the Medusa, but not as great into the carry Sven.
Yeah, basically. Like it's pretty bad, I would say, even into carry Sven, and pretty bad into offlane Medusa. It's still like usable if you are super rich, you can get it, but most of the time you'd opt to go for anything else in this game. Maybe even a hex down the line if you find the gold.
Radiant's top tower
They're
is under
smoking
attack.
up. Do they know that the Storm Spirit is here? Okay, Larnov is retreating, but the smoke is still coming directly in towards him. Oh my goodness, they see him, they see him, they see him, they see him, they see him. Can he jump away in time? Yes, he can. At least for now. Okay, he's all good, he's all good. Wait, maybe not. There's actually an Observer Ward and a Watcher right in front of him, so they could still chase him. Ghost knows this, he's on the way. They really want to find this kill. He's running out of mana. This is very scary. He Manta dodges the Storm Hammer, so now there's nothing left for Global if they go on top of him, but they don't even need it. This Observer Ward, man. Shout out to Omar. It's almost like you could see the future with how they conducted themselves in that gang.
This ward right here and the one on the stairs to the left they're my two favorite wards in the game right now. Like, around the ancient camp on top, there's always something to be seen there, or always someone farming on the enemy side, or trying to run away, so... Nice follow-up by Omar, by the way. Heads up play to keep the chase on, and not give up.
Well, now we have another Aegis on hand for our boy Ghosts, and this time around we have a Roshan's banner in tow for Nigma Galaxy. They struggled to deal with him once last time. And on the second life, they couldn't even get him to pop his BKB. Let's see how they fare on this defense, especially because they will not have the Storm Spirit for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're gonna go, right? Like, you have the Aegis, absolutely nothing stopping you. They have a lot of gold. That's the only reason I can think of for them not to go. They can spend it first. Medusa has 4,000, by the way. Rube can pick and choose what his next item is going to be.
Highground being sieged right now with the Roshan's banner. They do come back with the Storm Spirit, but with Defense Matrix, double Siege Wagon, banner, man, this is a tough defense. They do know that there will be a little bit of time where Sumail has to go back to replenish his mana, but sadly we're so deep in the game that time is like 5 seconds. They go in right now. They're looking towards getting goals with the Cardi being available. The Beastmaster sitting in the cart, popping those drums of Slum. That's an innovative strategy. Unfortunately, they lack the damage to actually kill the Sven during it.
Yeah, but they did get damn close, right? Like about 20% HP left on Ghost.
Dire's top barracks
And it's not really the longest cooldown on the Centaur, so perhaps they can use it again.
Back up in 2 seconds. There's TA2000. He's the one that needs to supply that damage. Noob is not carrying in Aegis, but he is carrying like 6,000 effective HP right now, so it's still very, very tough to bring him down.
Yeah, and hard to go on him. He's got cold-blooded. Like if you roar him or go on him with Storm Spirit,
are scanning.
that 100% will not work. So they just let the top side fall. Aegis is still up for 3 more minutes though. So eventually they'll have to start defending.
Also, to make matters worse, Ghost is about to pick up a Satanic as well on his Sven, so the next time you're not just worrying about the life of the Aegis, the BKB, but he can just pop himself to full HP with a couple of right clicks too.
Yeah, and it's flying out. He can disassemble, of course, the Mom, and it should be there. Full Satanic completed. This is your Hail Mary play, right? Like, get from behind, try to jump the right target.
Okay, they get the jump, they get the Soulbind out onto Toots, the Tiny and the Medusa. Unfortunately, Lorinov is taking more damage than them. They still do end up killing Omar first though. That is something good for them. They blink back on the side of VP. Will anybody from Nigma Galaxy go forward to try and catch them? Tinker wants to find these leaps forward, and so does the Sven. They can't catch them just yet. Blink gonna be online in a few seconds for the Centaur. TA2000 invis from the Glimmer. So they're fine. They actually get out of this.
That's a really good catch. Like, you kill off the Tiny. He brings a lot of control to Nigma. Like, you get rid of the Tiny, you bait out the Global, and you don't lose a single hero. They did lose some spells, of course, and item cooldowns, putting those BKBs down, but they're already on 6 seconds. It's whatever. Plus, you delay the push, right? Like, you delay the push that was happening with the Aegis.
This will be the defense of a lifetime for Virtus.pro to come back into this one. Still 19k gold in favor of Nigma Galaxy, but
Look at
making
1J.
Dota is interesting, and now we have the 1J nullifier, baby. All right, okay, I'm gonna go check how many. Please tell me how many nullifiers do you think have been bought on Virtus.pro full time? I'm gonna go check.
I mean, in competitive games, maybe 0. Maybe, like, I would say 0. I think maybe 1. I sincerely doubt it's a double-digit number, at least. Let's put it that way.
All right, let me know in chat what do you believe it is before I reveal the answer. That Dota is loading, and the answer is 0. This is the first one all time.
It's like, out of
Grimstroke
all
in a
the
pro
heroes I can imagine, Grimstroke is probably lowest on the list to buy the nullifier. Hex?
Good lane. They get the jump onto Dahak. He's falling so low. There is going to be the global silence as well. They threw out the primal roar onto Ghost, so he can't kill off Dahak, but the second he comes out of it, he's laying in the damage. Dahak forced to go in with the stampede, but sadly, Ghost has a harpoon. Drags him right back in and kills him off. Lorinov coming bottom, trying to at least punish Ghost a little bit. The Aegis expires in 5 seconds, though. They toss him back towards Ghost and Sumail. Lorinov gonna be forced to zip away. Now the Aegis will expire. The HP is coming back. Soulbind, double nullifier. At least it looked kind of cool coming out of 1J. But that's going to be the extent of its impact in this engagement. 2 lanes of Brax fall. Now it's a full Megas. DP's base is in shambles.
Yeah, some records were broken by 1J here. Or I should say the first one that did manage to buy the nullifier, but it's going to have to use it against Mega Creeps, it seems like. Not for too long if Nigma have it their way, as they're pushing the throne already.
Check this Medusa just posted up. Octarine Court, Lightyear, Meteor Hammer, Hex, Ceremonial Robe. And there's not really, they can't do anything about this. You were mentioning earlier how they've been ignoring the Medusa. Now it's one of those, you can't ignore me, but at the same time, what I'm doing to your base is unignorable. What are you going to do about it? At the very least, for now, Nigma Galaxy take a break, but they're gonna be back after they take this Wisdom Shrine.
Yeah, they got God Strength back up. It's off cooldown. BKB on Sven as well, up in 5 seconds. He'll have Overwhelming Blink, I believe. The recipe is already there. Yep, on the courier, so he'll have it in about 500 gold.
Dire's courier
Just
has been
they're very disciplined in this game. That's something that I have to say about Nigma. Like yesterday, maybe they would have even jumped the throne here, but they're waiting for everything to be online.
Did you see what just happened? They killed TA2000's courier. It had a refresher orb recipe on it. He was trying to buy out on the secret shop. And the silencer not just killed it, but now with the Wisdom Shrine also has level 18 on the global.
Yeah, he might get there though, right? Like he has the gold. He didn't buy anything.
See if he can still make it happen. And there it is. He buys out completely for the refresher. But now there's nothing left. There's no buyback. This is a full all-in play from Virtus.pro. And indeed, they smoke up as 5. They want to try and make something happen. What angle will they pursue? Go for the bottom wrap. Coming in through the mid lane. Omar, though, he's going to be the one that's seen first. They go on to Ghost. He doesn't have access to a global or to a Aegis at the moment, but there is still global silence to bail him out. There's going to be the Cardi putting the Beastmaster inside it to try to use these drums of Slum. There's a Primal Roar as well with the ET splitter. They're doing all the damage they can, and Ghost eventually will fall. But sadly, they have nothing left in the tank for everybody else. Sumail just throwing in these lasers. He does get himself nullified though. Caught in by the Dive Hawk. TA2000 trying to put in the damage, and Sumail will die.
Oh, the throne!
But, oh no!
The throne! You have to take it with some reservation.
I completely agree
Prepare
with that.
for battle.
Well, this game though is certainly going to provide some very useful and tractable information as we are now getting into the second game between Nigma and Virtus.pro. 1 game up for Nigma, but 3 is the magic number. We've seen it many times in the past. You win 2 games, you're feeling solid, you think nothing can go wrong, and then you end up being reverse swept. Not only have we seen it, Nigma Galaxy themselves have experienced it quite a lot.
Yeah, and versus this team, exactly. Like versus Chimera Esports, or now they are called, of course, Virtus.pro. So
How many of you do I have to kill?
let's see. They smoke up on both sides. Who has the stronger level 1? I think Nigma, right? You have tag team. So
Probably Nigma.
yeah.
30 seconds
But
to battle.
Nigma can't find the angle, and the smokes will be broken a bit. The Hawk is like, well, turns out we're not fighting here, boys. Go to the other side of the map.
Yeah, I just want to see how much Rain will be able to do on this Tinker. That's the X factor for me on the side of VP, because this hero from a position 5 can carry games. Like you can literally get so much farm that you make that
The battle begins.
extra core in the game.
I definitely want to see him doing his best Whiteman impression while playing this hero. But we're now underway. 2-2 trade, no early first bloods. Nothing strange to start things off, but a little D-word middle. Nice, nice, nice. Our boy 1J doing his thing. You must actually be in heaven. You know, you like 1J as a player, you love Bouncy as a hero. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of heroes here that I really enjoy playing, so let's see. So far on the mid lane, of course, you're just starting off. I do expect Sumail to do well here, regardless. I just want to see if he's going to have some stacks as well. Like as Beast, of course, you can stack up with the boards for yourself. The hard camp is very close to you, so just casting the axes, and you can get that stack too.
Sure, whenever Ice sees how well Beastmaster is doing these days, he's like, why the hell did I retire, bro? This is ridiculous. But Sumail should be fine, utilizing the boards for his right-clicking. Down bottom. Noob yet again on this Medusa. And as much as I did want to see the Ursa, and I certainly want to see like the Diffusal Blade build eventually, in the lane, you know, Medusa's going to be chilling, bro. I'd be astonished if she ends up dying here.
Yeah, this is a lane where Ursa and Tinker get the kill only if it's like a counter attack, right? Like they get gone on, they turn with March of Machines and Laser, and then suddenly you are getting some kills. But don't be fooled, Tinker is still a very strong laner. It's one of the reasons why he's played as a 5 at the moment.
Other side of the map, we do see Ghost. You know, actually, I've just realized something about Ghost, right? The way he's been playing from yesterday's series into this one, he's been not really playing hard carry. He's gone into that very, very, like, sacrificial is the wrong word, but like stable carry. You know, the fears, the no-tails, the super style, like, carry play that we don't really see all that often these days.
I think sacrificial is a good word. I think at least. Like yesterday, he was like that. Today as well. He maybe not as much on the Sven, but I expect something very similar on the DK. This game, though, I don't think you can rely on your mid as much as you did on the Tinker. Tinker can kind of solo carry the games. Beast, to an extent, but it's not as crazy.
Still no first blood just yet. Where do we think it's going to happen if it does take place? We said that bottom is going to be a counter initiation. Can something happen in the top lane that guarantees a kill?
I feel like top lane is way more volatile. Ursa down bottom, actually.
Oh my god. Ursa gets jumped on and killed. Oh my goodness. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Tag team with some ice shards. Noob providing the damage, and they did not have access to defense matrix, unfortunately, from Rain. And the laser was not enough to provide protection.
Yeah, you don't get it early on a 5. You don't even get it when you're mid. You get it like way down the line. Yeah, no Earth Shock to get away. Ice Shards tag team, good enough to take him down.
Yeah,
I do like
Noob is going to be very happy about this.
Yeah, for sure. Like 2 games in a row now, he's having a good time. By the way, what's really nice is he doesn't care about the slows, right? Like as a Medusa. So one of the only hero basically that can just move away after he gets earth shocked by the Ursa. You can just walk away.
CS advantage now starting to lean heavily towards Nigma Galaxy. Medusa doing extremely well bottom. With the kill already, mid going quite decently for them. And Sento somewhat struggling in the top lane, not really able to exert himself that much.
1J top, he's
DK
dead.
is just farming away. Top lane, they go for the bounty, they manage to find the kill. GH didn't even need to do anything else. Hide him underneath the sentry ward. No escape available for 1J.
A really difficult lane for 1J, I have to say. If he's not creep skipping, there isn't really a lot that he can do. Bounty basically as a hero has a ton of armor, like he's got 9 armor level 2, but only 670 HP. Mid lane though, Sumail is getting ganked.
See, Sumail is being surrounded, but unfortunately they just lack the damage right now to get this kill. GH TP'd in. They were almost about to draw in the TP from Omar as well, but he ends up cancelling it.
That might hurt them later on. Now that you see that Omar doesn't have a TP and GH, maybe you can make another move on the mid lane with the bounty. There will be basically no supports with TP to help out. 1J once again. He has healing loads, so should be fine here.
Lotus, some boots, yeah, he's chilling. Sadly though, this is gonna be some time that he's just wandering around, not really doing all too much. Might just want to secure the team the power rune at 6 minutes, but
they're mid.
It's gonna be around middle for a while.
Hi, they're mid. They know there are no TPs on supports. They might set up on Sumail.
Gonna try for it. X marks the spot is there. Sumail running away, does have 6-1 charges, will pop them, and they just lack the damage. Overall, the Torrents does come out eventually, but it misses. Now 1J, he is gonna be fine because there's no reveal for him. Rain, though, doesn't seem to be as lucky as Noob, putting in the right click damage. Running out of mana, but unable to fully catch up. 1J now going back in on Sumail, but still lacks the damage. And with the dive hawk from Sumail, they bring down this bounty hunter. Now, Larnoff is thinking about trying to go get this haste rune, but it might have put him in a precarious position. Rain using in some defense matrix, but it's only level 1, so not much protection is going to be afforded here. Larnoff in trouble. There's going to come the boat, though. Crashing in onto the Phoenix and the Medusa. That will save his life for now. Enable them to kill off GH and Omar.
Ghost.
In the meantime, the Huck gets a kill onto, or gets killed by Ghost on the other side of the map. But all the action is here on mid, as Noob trying to run right now. Larnoff has X marks, but cannot close the gap. They don't find the Medusa. But still, the big prize is defending Larnoff.
Yeah, Sumail was about to lift his hands for that roar. 1J still gonna get it. Yeah, still gonna get roared.
Hashtag work. I got the bounty. I forced him to roll me. It's fine.
Yeah, he is called the bounty hunter, so his job is done.
Dire's middle tower
Top lane, the
under
Hawk is really being pressured hard. Centaur, 24 CS, 7 minutes in. This is not looking that great for him. At least the Wisdom Shrine will be safe. No one rotating in. Nice rotations, I have to say. Like, both teams playing this mid lane strategically very nicely.
under attack.
Like, Virtus.pro realizing no one can help Beast out of the supports. So they go and dive him. But Duza instead,
Radiant
Noob,
structures
the only one
are
that has the
fortified.
TP. And that can make a difference, TP's in, so... Not very often that you see an offlane TP mid minute 5, but it was definitely worth it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I also think that just the nature of his counterpart in the lane made it a very safe move. He knew that even if he comes mid, like, Ursa's not going to pressure your tower, bring it into, like, really mortal territory. So, it's whatever. You can leave there for a wave or two and not lose out on too much. In the meantime, his own carry was able to get the enemy tower down to half while all that was happening. So, he probably feels that it was all upside for Noob. There was pretty much no drawbacks for him making that maneuver.
Oh, GH.
Going on to GH, he does have the X, the boat is there, and they will be able to kill him.
Under attack.
Alright, that's something. That's definitely something.
Yeah, he didn't manage to snatch the shield rune. If he does, he probably even lives long enough to use that dive away. But yeah, like you said, definitely something. Most importantly, Bounty is involved in these kills. Lorenov is recovering his 300 top of the net worth on Kunkka, so nothing to recover from. I should take that back. Like, he's doing
Radiant are scanning.
very well. Noob down
So
bot.
maybe the first rotation from Sumail going bottom. They're going. Noob is here. Does pop the... Oh, it doesn't have the mana for the Stone Gaze, but it won't matter. They're still going onto TA2000. The Raw was there, but they don't have enough follow-up to kill him just yet. And TA2000, now with the Enrage, will be able to get back to safety a little bit. Ice Shots blocks him in for a
Ghost.
moment, but he's able to hop over with the Earthshock. Ghost, having taken the Twin Gauge rotation, comes through. They find Rain with the Dragon Tail stun. The Tinker is falling very, very low and will eventually take a tumble. Bounty Hunter not going to be allowed to escape either. As he gets revealed underneath his own tower and brought down. Good rotation from Ghost, who will now leverage. Perhaps... Oh, no, he's going right back. I thought he was going to stick around with this Dragon Tail or Dragon form, but it's about to end anyway.
Yeah, Tinker falling like timber. You said it nicely. Dragon rotating in with Orb of Corrosion, by the way. A very interesting build on Dragonite. We don't see it that often any longer. Going for Armlet. So this might be your Armlet mom kind of a Dragonite. I like it. Like, he wants to be that ultimate late game scaling carry. But
Fortunately, he might be dead right now because they're rotating onto him. They're coming through.
Are scanning.
Lorenov smoked up with 1J. They don't have the best vision in the area, but they know that he might be somewhere around. Sadly, it seems so does Nigma Galaxy have an awareness that somebody's here. They're trying to juke around here, but Bounty should be able to see him eventually. It's daytime now. No, it was nighttime just as they passed him, so they didn't see him. But we'll see the Tusk. That does allow Ghost to go into the ultimate form. Coming back in, they find the stun out onto the Kunkka. The egg dropped behind them as well. Aisha is not allowing 1J to escape either.
nice
Egg will
snowball.
pop right now, but the big chase is onto Lorenov. The snowball did dodge the stun. Unfortunately, though, it will still lead into a couple deaths here. Nice snowball onto Bounty. Nice chase onto Kunkka. Nice response from Nigma Galaxy to this rotation.
I don't know if you feel the same, but this dire tier 1 tower for me, like, the jukes around the trees are, like, the amount of them is infinite. It's so hard to find the right angle, and if you smoke up, like, chances are you're not going to find the target fast enough.
Dire's bottom tower is under
And you don't have, like,
I mean, you were
multiple
talking
ways.
about,
Yeah. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you were talking about those wards in the previous game, and sometimes we see those wards being able to counteract that exact juking you're talking about. Down
See-
bottom, tier 2000, taking some damage here. Walrus punches out. The Enrage is about to expire. Do they have the chase? No, they do not. Defense Matrix shows up, protects him. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he's really hard to kill. Like, they tried even with the roar the last time they were down on the bottom lane and they didn't manage, so without Beast it's even harder. As long as he has Enrage, of course.
Still, though, doesn't seem to be impacting Nigma all that much. They still have the 2k net worth advantage overall.
is under attack.
They're pressuring bottom. They've taken the top tower. Oh, look at this. They found Rain. The snowball, he was on the last second of his TP. That is so unfortunate. Rain will end up going down to the hands of GH.
Unfortunate, but Omar and GH just always in the right position. I feel like they're just playing this game faster and reading the movements of Virtus.pro like all the time. Why is Omar here? It's not really unfortunate. He's here because his Medusa is pushing with Meteor Hammer, and the only one that can really defend is the Tinker. So he wraps behind and finds him, like just very nicely played. There is a Kunkka rotating though.
Here, Centaur is also going to make his way over. X marks the spot onto Noob. 1J's here as well. The Stone Gaze will be triggered out, but Snowball, Stone Gaze goes through it. So there's going to be the Supernova being triggered out. Can they destroy this egg in time before it pops? Yes, they can. They've taken it away, and now all of a sudden Omar is going to lose his life as well. TA2000 on a double kill. Ghost getting dragged back in with the X marks. He's going to be sitting in front of some very ravenous heroes, and they are thirsting for some dragon's blood. They will take it. Triple kill for TA2000. Perhaps they have enough in the tank to take on Noob, but they can't find the angle for the X marks from Laranov, so Noob will be allowed to live.
Yeah, they bit a little bit more than they could chew. Like these two heroes, Centaur has a Crimson Guard, a Kunkka with Blade Mail, Double Bracer, and the Rum, right? Like from his boat. Like it's so hard to kill one or the other, and the egg was very aggressive. Keep in mind, you are playing into an Ursa, and he can, for the majority of the game, he can solo the egg. So, nicely played by TA2000 as well to jump in and just get rid of it.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Noob is at least able to claim the tier 1 tower with the Meteor Hammer, but very similar to the first game, they had to work for this bottom tower. The work that Rain has put in defending it for so long, though he did eventually die and the tower does fall, the cost to Nigma was quite extreme. Their gold lead has been shaved completely away. It's only really this DK that's still far ahead of everybody else, but we do see that these VP heroes are catching up very rapidly at the moment, especially with this Battle Fury now complete for the Ursa.
Yeah, Battle Fury Ursa, you've got the track now as well ready, so a lot of good things coming together for VP. Mid tower as well defended by the Tinker, now that you mentioned it, by the way.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
What a hero, bro. What a hero. There's only one thing I like about Tinker being in the meta right now. The new players to Dota over the last few years who didn't have to deal with like the old days of March the Machines, they now are starting to understand why we were all so fearful of this spell being reintroduced. So I give this if you're a Tinker player, enjoy it for the next 6 months. There's no way that this spell stays into next year.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Smart money.
1J and the boys putting their toes towards bottom. Can they take the Tommy?
Radiant
When it spawns here, they're trying to zone back GH so they can make that option happen for themselves.
Oh,
GH,
nice stomp.
nice stomp from
They can still
Dahak.
fight.
Interrupts the Icarus dive. They will force out the Supernova, but the Ursa is not here. They can't destroy it in time. They need to get the hell out. The stun will connect onto both Dahak and 1J. 1J already having fallen. Now TA2000 is here, but we'll see if Nigma want to actually pursue further here or if they're just happy to gain a free kill.
It's hard to go uphill, but you have Medusa with Stone Gaze and you have Aghanims flying out to Sumail. So I think they fight this, yeah. They definitely fight this. There's no blink on Ursa. Not yet.
Thanks for the Tommy, bozos. Let's see who it goes towards. Either Tusk or the Phoenix. Ooh, now that's a shot, baby. Now we're talking.
Yeah, both of them have really good shards. I like the, especially in this game, I'd like ice shards. Like they're really good, but of course Sunray as well. It's one thing when a shard is good, it's completely other when a shard is like the main build of the hero. And for Phoenix, it's almost always the main item that you go for.
Virtus.pro. They have picked up a Ursa Blink Dagger now, so we'll see if they want to make some plays. They have smoked up on Nigma, but it's really hard to find a target. Mid lane is being pushed in constantly by Rain.
They can rush though.
Kunkka's in the jungle and the triangle. They get just a sliver of vision of Kunkka taking these Ancients. So maybe you jump Lauren off here, Sumail. Do they have the reach? Ice shots. Nice block onto Lorinov. Not going to be allowed to escape here. He will throw out the boat though. Coco Rum will delay proceedings for as long as possible. And there's going to be the defense matrix as well. Bro, they maxed out the defensive stat. You are not lying. They simply cannot kill him. And now that they brought in the Centaur, these heroes need to retreat. 1J though, my friend, you do not have all the defensive tools of these other heroes. He will end up dead. But now TA2000 goes forward, finds Sumail, gets immediate revenge for his boy. Noob going forward with the Stone Gaze. Unfortunately, Dark facing away from him. Now though, the Stone Gaze is over. Marching the Machines on the ground. They're going to drop the Meteor Hammer, but TA2000 moves away from it. The Hawk still losing HP, defense matrix, buying space and time. Finally, they get the kill. They did buy back on 1J to try and return this fight, but sadly, he's unable to massively contribute here. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 engagement with a buyback from VP. I think before the buyback it was okay, but now they get the Yules middle onto TA2000. They want to chase this Ursa Bear down. They can't catch him in time. Omar getting himself dragged back in by the X marks. There's a Torrent as well, and with TA2000 on top of him, it should have enough damage, but also they have enough damage to kill the bear. Lorinov now finding himself dive bombed by Sumail, who has respawned into the fight, able to find the kill onto Lorinov. Rain attempting his best to run away, will not be allowed to do so. Now 1J, he knows his life is forfeit. He does have access to the Shadow Walk, but they don't have vision. They don't have any dust anymore. They've used them all in the fight. So he's going to be the lone survivor here, but everybody else ends up tumbling. What a crazy fight. And VP, they get punished super hard here, Liz.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is free rush now as well. Maybe not the freest. Ursa is up in 10. I'm not sure that they can take it that quickly. There's a shrine as well that you can TP to. The outpost, I mean. But yeah, VP, they got baited. That GH dive in with Yules on Ursa was perfect. And also, I don't know if you noticed, Ursa could have lived, but he got A-tossed. So his Earth Shock didn't give him any distance. He couldn't get away. He was about to run, but he just really got surprised by that A-toss of Noob.
Well, now Noob and the boys have an Aegis given towards the Beastmaster, of course, who is rolling deep with this Aghanim Scepter. And in the next 90 seconds, he'll have Blink Dagger as well, so it's not like Nigma Galaxy are going to stop with their progression on the map the way things are looking right now.
By the way, Kunkka was picked a bit later down the line, right? Like, he wasn't one of the earliest. He was the last pick even, right? Am I correct?
23, yeah.
Yeah. But there was a Tusk already on Nigma. And I feel like Tusk, even when Kunkka was full meta, always picked, Tusk used to be one of better heroes because you can snowball DX, right? Like, you get that save versus the boat as well, versus Torrent 1J. See if they can find him.
He should be fine. Yeah. Oh, no, he's not. What the hell? How did they see him?
They have a sentry. It's on the ground.
I see it now. Okay. I see it.
And he thought that he was hiding, but he wasn't. If you don't look at them, it doesn't mean that they can't see you.
You know, yesterday we were literally talking about we're about to lose Sumail. Bye-bye, my friend.
Oh, he has Blink.
TA2000 just needs,
And
one more right click, but there's no Blink Dagger available, but he's still gone. But basically, you know, yesterday you were mentioning how the sentry buff that time ago changes things. Like, I'm 100% sure 1J thought he was safe, but just forgot about the additional range on the sentry.
Yeah, probable. Very probable, especially when you're playing Bounty. You're always playing on the edge. Let's see, Sumail, Blink Ags. No Ages, though, to work with, so... Nice little snatch by TA2000.
Speaking of TA2000, needs to get out of here. He's gonna try to take the Twin Gate through. Sumail sees him, does not have Primal Roar though, but he does have the Dive Hawk. Unfortunately, not gonna stop him. TA2000 is out. He's being chased still though on the other side of the map. Lorinov forced to drop the boat just to cover the retreat for his carry. And it will succeed.
Yeah, he didn't have Gleipnir to work with on Noob. It was still on cooldown, so he couldn't get that kill. And I don't know why, but I did expect Dive Bomb to stop him from going through, but it's a route. Didn't happen.
Gonna try and steal the Wisdom Shrine though. And indeed, Noob is gonna take this one away. The Hawk at the very least is on the other side, but now Ursa could be in some danger. Able to Earthshock over the shards though. They don't really want the smoke at the moment. I mean, they don't have a Centaur, so definitely not a fight you want to take. Oh no, Rain! He TP'd in to throw out the March of the Machines, but Sumail was waiting. My man has definitely been playing Tinker. He knows exactly where to position to defend, and therefore he knows where to find the Tinker when he's trying that play.
It's a really difficult tower to defend as well. You don't really have a lot of options, a lot of ways to TP in as Tinker, so... I have to say, Sumail is really low. 50% HP already. If they decide to maybe backstab them, mid lane, Ghost, mid lane, DK.
Find Ghost. Ghost is falling low. Ghost is almost dead, but the snowball buying him space and time. He's still alive. Are you kidding me? Omar and GH working overtime to protect their Dragon Knight. Man, give these guys a raise. I hope they're getting some union dues because they are playing out of their skin here in game 2.
Yeah, GH almost killing himself as well, overplaying it with Sunray. Blade Mail coming in clutch. The hack with that Lotus. They want to fight. They're also low on Nigma. Like, Nigma, they need to back out. They cannot fight this. No resources, basically. GH has no mana. He's using Clarity now, though.
Bro, they really want to fight this. Ursa has this diffuser blade that we were talking about in the draft. He would love to expand it onto Noob, but Nigma playing very, very carefully. They're being defensively responsible, you know? Like, I remember one of my trainers used to tell me that all the time. Take as many hits as you want, but as long as you're defensively responsible, you can always make a counter play. And that's what Nigma's been doing, and now here's their counter play. You'll Scepter out onto Dahak. They throw him into the air. Does have
Nice
Stampede
Lotus.
available, but for now he's rooted into the ground. Nice little hoof stomp, but it's not going to really matter. Ice shards in front of him, damage behind him, and a quick trip to the fountain for the Centaurs.
Yeah, they just gave up on the scent. It was hard to defend him. He's on the high ground. You don't really have a way to engage properly in the back. It's almost suicide for Tinker to play in that area as well. They are finding some items on a VP, like the Radiance is definitely massive on Kukai. I'm not sure what he's going to build with Sanj, but he's got that next as well. Maybe SNY, we'll see. But they're just finding a lot of solutions on Nigma right now. I believe they have 2 Yule Scepters. Yeah, Beastmaster Sumail has a Yule's of his own flying out. And it's such a value item. It's absolutely insane how valuable it is this game. You just have to... Sometimes things all come together. Yules versus Stampede and Rage. Yules versus Tinker to Dispel. Yules versus X marks the spot. It's like the best item you can get in this game. It's crazy.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Well, nothing that's crazy
Even
about this
Medusa
game
queuing
is
it
Ghost.
up. Like, just go 5 Yule Scepters. I'm sorry, Snare. This is funny.
Wait, what? You're not lying. She actually is. What?
And
basic.
Tusk. And Tusk.
Dyer's
The only
God,
one not
bro.
going Yules is Dragon Knight.
are scanning.
So awesome, dude. Medusa. They almost killed Bounty, but they came too late with the dust, unfortunately.
It does linger around a little bit, so he has to be careful, but he has haste.
Oh, Yule's gaming. You love to see it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you get 4 Yule Scepters, or 4 of any one item, it means you're lacking in some other department, right? Like, no Solar Crest, no Vlads on someone, no utility items. Oh, by the way, you also get rid of Track as well. That's another thing.
2 heroes caught inside. The Gleipnir coming in from Noob with the Ice Shards to follow this up. Now they want to go for Dahak. They find him first with the Snowball, but they also reach Rain with the Primal Roar. Where is the follow-up damage? Supernova now comes into the middle of the fight. They need to run from Virtus.pro. The stun, though, will it be there for TA2000? No. Does manage to get away just in time, but the Gleipnir will still follow this up. They're holding him in the air with the Walrus Punch, but unfortunately, Omar dies first. Ghost wasn't able to really keep a beat on one of his targets. Now, though, the unfortunate one will be the Bounty Hunter. He will end up going down. Ghost on a
Can they
dominating
reset?
streak.
Yeah. Dragon form 50% out. There's no roar. I wonder if they can reset this. They're not trying to, though. If Lorinov had some ability, maybe he'd be able to jump and X marks the spot, but nothing like that was available.
I mean, they're still waiting for a Blink Dagger on the Centaur as well, right? So they are limited in their re-engage options right now.
Absolutely. Sumail being healed up a little bit by the Sunray. Can he solo this? It seems like he can. Easy.
I must say, Ghost, with this build, this is not the build that we see nowadays as the most common one after the changes in the patch, but he's still demonstrating just how obscene this hero is. No pure farming item, wait for the Corrosive Dragon, and he's still top net worth.
Yep.
Good work coming in from the carry of Nigma.
I love it. I actually love this item build. I think it's really strong. It used to be meta with the Fire Dragon, but I also like it even with the Corrosive, especially when you're playing a one that needs to scale. It just allows you to scale much, much better. Even though Mjolnir is the common item right now, and it's also not that bad, right? Like, you go for Mjolnir, it also allows you to farm quite a lot from position 1.
Ursa just picked up a serrated Shiv on the bear, so a lot stronger. You'll be able to put out some pretty decent damage, but crucially, do have some of that true strike going for yourself. It's gonna help against some of the mischance coming from the Phoenix if you don't have BKB active.
Not the only problem with all these Yule Scepters is, like, eventually you have to start hitting these targets. can't keep them in the air all the time. Let's see if they can contest this. They have Stampede to work with.
Might be too late. It's too late. It's gone. Aegis now in the hands of Nigma Galaxy for the DK. By the way, before they find the next fight, trivia question, Brother Lizard. How many Yule Scepters have been picked up on Medusa all time in Dota 2?
This last couple of patches when she became all about int and mana, I feel like, and offlane, I mean, when she was played, I feel like Yule's was purchased a bit more than before, so competitively, right?
Competitive games, yeah. Only competitive games.
I don't know, like 25 times, maybe? Is that too much?
No, that's way too much. This is only the 5th ever pickup of a Medusa with a Yule Scepter, and the first ever to be picked up by a core hero. Everybody else have been supports that have gone with this one.
Ghost?
A little bit of danger here, but for now, Ghost just wants to take the tier 3 tower. Doesn't really care about these marches. And they're going for it. Racks are up. Aegis, Orb of Corrosion, Orb of Destruction, excuse me. BKB, SNY, Armlet, 4 power trades. Man, that's a tough kill. They're gonna try and go forward here. There will be a boat flying out. Ghost still standing his ground though. They also expended already the Primal Roar onto TA2000, so he couldn't find his primary kills on the back, but sadly, they don't have anything to hold him down, and they kill the Phoenix before the Supernova emerges from GH. He ends up going down. Ghost still tracked up, needs to be careful now. Dahak went forward, didn't get the stun that he wanted. Coming back off cooldown just now. Does he have the additional blink to reach forward? 1J giving them the vision, giving them the track, wanting to open up the space for them to chase forward. And Noob, excellent Meteor Hammer, stopping both Lornoff and Dahak from going up the hill. So no X, no hoof stomp, no more fight. Nigma will be allowed to retreat.
Man, this is the way you disengage from a fight, if they continue running. Let's see, TA2000 is still hunting, but like, all that aside, there was a small mistake from GH, like he dove in into a stun, so he died without using the egg or anything. I think that was the perfect situation for an egg, because Ursa was in a snowball that got reflected by Lotus. He couldn't hit the egg. If that egg was there, the fight could have been very bad for VP. But the disengage from Nigma, regardless, was beautiful. The way they covered each other. Hold that thought, 1J.
Very dead. Bye-bye. GH gets his revenge after respawning. Nicely done.
Medusa working towards the Hex Nullifier on Beastmaster. Of course, they are playing versus the Tinker, and about this time, usually the defense matrix actually starts being a real issue. Like, Tinker just constantly rearming, casting it on his allies, so Nullifier definitely needed.
I mean, we also only have a couple of levels until he hits 15, right? That's when, for me, the defense matrix becomes really hard to deal with in the earlier portion. They jump now forward. Noob gets caught up. The double Yules will be there, but not gonna be enough lockdown to really threaten his life, so he's gonna be fine.
That double Yules is actually genius on Medusa. Like, you use him and you reset yourself so they can't go on you, buying some more time for the Mystic Snake. Like, actually, like, you want to use it on the Lotus target.
Ghost still has another about 70 seconds to go on his Aegis. Losing a lot of HP though, but now quick Yules onto TA2000 as we forced into expending the Enrage. Goes on the high ground, and like we said, less than half a second. And now Sumail though, in the meantime, was able to rip through the Tinker on the high ground. GH with the Supernova out as well, forcing back the rest of Virtus.pro. They buy back on Rain. Noob dropping hammer onto these lane of racks. They've taken away the tier 3 tower. Aegis still standing strong for another 50 seconds. Nigma Galaxy, yet again, looking solid on the retreat. Noob is the one that just uses up to avoid the X marks the spot. It will be a 2-hero torrent, but there's no way Lornoff is going to charge that far forward at this point.
They're so good at disengaging. Lornoff is trying his best to catch someone.
You get the catch on the Medusa with the X marks the spot. You get her back into the river though. Ice Paw for the Sunray is going to be there. Yule's now onto TA2000. Doesn't have a BKB available. TA2000 is in some trouble here. He's going to be surrounded by Nigma heroes. Yule's again into the air. GH doesn't have the egg but doesn't need it. The Sunburn and the additional slow ensures that they can kill off TA2000. Omar will find himself unable to TP home. Interrupted and killed off by Dahak, but unfortunately for Dahak, that's going to cost his life as well. Sumail now on a killing spree. And neither of these heroes have buyback, Lizard. How do they defend 3 versus 4?
You probably do not. Not the bot lane at least. They can go straight into the mid lane as well. No tier 2 towers up. This at least should be mega creeps. Like, so far you weren't able to stop Ghost. I don't see how you can do it with 3 heroes instead of 5.
Gonna try. Unfortunately, Ghost is willing to just stand his ground, go on to Lornoff. Lornoff is the one that's forced to flee. At least drops the boat for some Coco run, but that just encourages Noob and Ghost to ignore him and go right back to the priority target of taking these racks. Yes, the Centaur's back in 10, and so is the Ursa, but they're going to arrive to a base that is in absolute shambles.
Yeah, just taking one side after another. I really have to commend Nigma. Like, they literally did not want to take any teamfights. Ursa tipping into them. They have Stone Gaze and Hex though.
Okay. Ursa gets immediately used up into the air. Noob defensively responsible. Pops the Stone Gaze to make the retreat happen, but they're coming in on the other side. Sumail, he's been tracked up as well. Dahak was looking for the hoof stomp. Sadly, the BKB will protect Sumail, and now he turns back in with the Primal Roll, but he blinked into a torrent. Sumail is going to fall and die. Lornoff, him and TA2000 need to deal with this egg. Can they do so in time? GH will make sure that the egg pops, stuns 3 heroes. Now they go back in. Snowball on the 3 with the Meteor Hammer onto all of them as well. TA2000 about to die. 1J can do nothing on the back lines. And Virtus.pro throw in the towel. GG, well played is called. Nigma Galaxy take a 2-0 win and give Ghost an ultra kill to round out game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely well-deserved ultra kill for Ghost. I don't know what they gave this Ursa, but he was high as hell through the game. You have spent more time losing when you're on the brink of elimination. You resort to your comfort zone, right? Like, it's suiting and it's easier to play. Like, even if it's not the best meta, it's easier to play when you are playing in your full comfort zone. So they go for these heroes on Virtus.pro. It's a bit out there with the Rubik pick, of course. But let's see. I'm sure that they can find a way to claw themselves back into the series.
Well, all of us want more Dota, so we certainly are rooting for Virtus.pro to take this game. Nigma Galaxy on the cusp of booking their ticket to DreamLeague Season 26. Let's see how it all breaks out. Nigma, they smoke up, they head on the high ground. Oh, 2 heroes caught with the Storm Hammer. Sumail jumps forward as well, but unfortunately they jump into quite a bit of damage. He needs to get the hell out of here. Sumail almost died. Lightning Storm slowing these heroes down, but not able to catch up to Sumail. Omar will be the unlucky one. Will be sacrificed to the altar of Virtus.pro, and that's a first blood. Not just any first blood, Liz. The kill goes to the Leshrac.
I mean, perfect beginning, right? Like, exactly. The kills, they came to you. And I'm not sure what that was from Nigma. Like, they 100% don't have the damage level 1 to take this fight. Like, you have to find some very isolated targets if you want to get any kills. Very nicely done by VP to defend that going. They might get all 4 bounty rules, by the way.
Oh, let's see. Yep. 4-4. Okay. Now, I cannot envision a better start to a game than getting a first blood for my mid laner and getting all 4 bounty runes, having him basically start the game. Null tally, you know, a ton of branches, not that far away from having the bottle either. Man, what a start.
I mean, every single hero on their side is starting with like that one extra item that you usually go for, either a bracer, a null tally, or a wand. So they all have something extra going into the lane. This is, like you said, can't wish for a better start if you're VP.
Now the interesting part comes. We get to see the laning phase. I want to see how the king is going to approach this game. By the way, another trivia question. Tell me, Brother Lizard, how many times do you think Sumail has played Marcy in a professional game?
Dire's courier has been killed.
Is this his first one?
Yep.
Yeah. We have a lot of firsts today. Like, so I can't remember what the other hero was. I know someone played the first hero for in the previous series, right? In the previous game, I mean. The first null talisman. Not null talisman. The first nullifier was built. That
Nullifier on the Grimstroke.
yeah. That was the case.
Oh, we're still progressing now, nice and early. Top lane. You see that Noob, for once not playing the Medusa, gonna be forced to actually click buttons in the lane.
Has to actually do work. Wow. Can't just stand there.
Kind of wondering what's gonna be the goal from the hard
Bot lane, GH.
as a
Should be fine, right?
GH. Should be okay. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, Warcry, and that's it. Wait, you're wondering what the Bristleback build will be. I mean, seeing these heroes on the other side, this might be some Crimson Lotus kind of a build. Like, well, he is going for Snot Rocket, so mostly utility. Like, I think Lotus is a really good item this game, and so is Vanguard, so...
Dire's courier has been
These are the items I'm waiting for.
How would you feel, given that there is a Sven bottom lane? Sven actually getting a kill, but might die too to Hawk, and indeed he does. How would you feel about a Halberd on this Bristleback so that you have the disarm onto both the Sven and the Marcy throughout the game?
Also a fantastic pickup, but that's where the Vanguard comes into play, right? Like, you can start with Vanguard and then go for Halberd. I wouldn't mind that at all. I feel like it's one of the best meta items at the moment on offlane anyway.
Now middle lane has been trading evenly in the CS department, because it seems like there's an ironclad law of Dota that Sumail is not allowed to lose a lane. I think it's coded into the game itself. What can you do?
Even against a First Blood Lash, like he's still doing alright. The lane is basically even. 18-3, 18-3 after these. He actually misses the last. Never mind. Noob.
Only one TI win, bro.
Yeah.
Trash player.
Fluke TI.
Still, the overall VP must be much happier with the way that this game is unfolding. Obviously, not just from the early kills, but the lanes are not being pressured as heavily. TA2000 is doing super well. And look what they're actually doing. Look what they're doing in the top lane. TA2000 and Rain are literally expending open wounds just to kill us all the time.
Yeah. That was dangerous, but on the mid lane, they actually duked it out under the tier 1 tower. Misanthropy coming into play, this facet from Lash. And Rubik now as well.
And Jay, oh my goodness, they just couldn't find the vision, but they got him. Lift back, one more right click is all they need, and the kill will go onto Sumail. Can they get anything else out of this? In the meantime, they do end up trying to chase onto Lorenov. Omar cannot close the gap to have the Avalanche toss. He does not have boots, and Leshrak is extremely fast as a hero, so he should be fine.
Radiant's middle
That
tower
was
is
a
under
very
attack.
good rotation from 1J. Especially because you can leave the Bristle down bottom to play against the Ghost on his zone. You don't really care. He's not going to be zoned out or anything. Nice little plays coming from them.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Top lane, putting some pressure in onto this Lifestealer. They know they wanted to force him to rage, and indeed they do. Divehawk will be there a little bit. They toss him back. He's actually in more danger than I thought. They have to rotate in 1J, but he arrives too late. He will end up taking a tumble here. Noob, will he be punished, surrounded by these two supports? It does not seem like they're going to have the damage. Avalanche will cool down in 2 seconds, so they're going to turn back onto 1J potentially. There's the Avalanche. They don't have mana for the toss just yet. He does have a Lotus to eat. He does, but he dies before he could get off the toss. So 1J will live. Will eat an Arcane Curse. Doesn't get the last word connection though, so 1J lives. It's Omar that ends up dying.
March of the Machines, what a spell. It was a nice attempt by Omar to bait them. Like, he was hiding behind the trees, waiting for his cooldown to be reset. Unfortunately, does not get the kill in the end. He is rotating mid now, but there is a ward, and it's just running out. They might go noob top.
See, they are indeed going to dive from underneath the tier 1 tower. 3 heroes around him. Open wounds is on, and Omar, as you mentioned, he went towards the mid lane, so not present to try and defend his offlaner. But now here comes Sumail making his first rotation as this Marcy. Not level 6 just yet, but still has enough in the tank to quickly bring down 1J. Punishing that move, so Sumail getting his kill for the game.
Yeah, 1J, it's really good that he went for Frugal Filch on the Rubik, because he's gonna need some mana to use these stolen spells, and he's losing some int to Silencer. All the brain drain so far is from the Rubik. But a hero that is really living it right now is Lorenov. Like, the Slash Rack is his most comfortable hero, I would say, and he's finding a lot of farm from the mid lane. First blood, and not really a lost lane on the mid, killing off Sumail as well, or assisting at least in that kill.
This is always the deal whenever you have Leshrac mid, right? Other heroes that have greater potential to make rotations, like a Marcy, when they do make those rotations, they come back and find their towers at half HP.
Yeah, of course, Misanthropy doesn't allow you to hit the tower as well, right? Like, if it was the other facet, the tower would probably be dead. But even though he's having a good time, he cannot lane here anymore, I feel like. Every time Sumail is around, you have to be extremely careful. Like, if he gets gone on with Unleash, he's probably dead.
Sumail did bounce forward, so that'll give Larenov a bit more peace of mind to come into the lane. Whilst on top, TA2000 still playing very comfortably underneath his tier 1 tower. Despite the earlier death, he is doing okay. Still very far behind the Sven, of course, but shouldn't be that far behind for the remainder of the game.
Just the nature of the hero. It's much more difficult for him to go and farm the Ancients at this point. He's not level 6 even yet, so needs a little bit more time to work with to get that Radiance. They know that Sumail wants him mid, so they're rotating everyone in.
Sumail jumps back in onto the slash, but God, look at the damage! Holy base! Sumail really did not expect to die that quickly, and GH finding out he cannot render any assistance either. Little did they know that the Hawk would be there with the magic damage on the Leshrac. Much too much for this Marcy to deal with at this moment.
It was a nice idea, but Virtus.pro read it. It took too long. I feel like it took too long for them to decide to go on this Lash. They were way more decisive with the moves in previous games. Nice rotation from VP. And the hasted rune stolen in front of Sumail as well. Sealing the deal. They do have Roar on top, and he does have Unleash to work with.
But they don't have those vision, and TA2000 already backing away from this area. Has an idea that this move is coming, so
yeah,
he's not going to get caught out by this. It's going to be wasted time from Sumail yet again.
Yeah, it was a nice obs, if you see it. Like, the Dire Obs is right next to the secret shop. It scouted him out, but Sumail doesn't want to give up. Instead, he goes bot. He knows the Hack is here because of the Lotus.
Yeah, but he took the Lotus and ate it, so now it's a full HP Bristleback. Can you kill him 100-0 before reinforcements emerge?
I think you can.
We're gonna find out. They're gonna go for him, Unleash, God Strength, 2 ultimates results in a kill. But on the other side of the map, they're looking towards maybe killing off this Beastmaster. He just TP's out, roar into their faces, TP, bye-bye, they can't do anything.
Yeah, when you look at this team on the side of BP, how many stuns do they have? You have Lift, and you have Split Earth. That's it. Like, they're gonna have to itemize for some disables, some Atos. I don't know who can even buy it, but at least Yule Scepter on Rubik is needed.
Okay, gold lead for the side of Virtus.pro. Move back in the jungle right now just to farm things out. TA2000 still protecting his tier 1, so I think Nigma Galaxy, I mean, they definitely want more on the map at this moment in time. I don't think they're very happy about the fact that these towers are still so healthy and VP still has so much map space to work around with.
Yeah, they do have Helm of Dominator for now on Beast. Interesting that he went for Dom. Helm of Overlord is really good. Like, you can control the map, like you can pressure the towers very early on. But you are playing into a life stealer, so
Dire structures are
he doesn't really care that much about your creep.
Radiant's middle
The
tower
frustration
is under
about this
attack.
Beastmaster, he's playing into a Tinker, so... You know, normally at this stage of the game, with the kind of start that he was having, anticipating at least, even if you don't like win the lane, by now you should have the tower pretty much dead, but this Tinker just says, no, brother, it'll take a lot longer than you think. But Sumail wants to try and re-engage, misses the hit after the jump in with the rebound. Global Silence was expended as well, and now they find the roar onto Rain. Can they kill him? Infest will be there from the lifesteal, and now here
no,
comes
for sure.
Laronoff out of nowhere. Two heroes split earth with the lightning bursting everywhere. They've lost both of their cores. Rain does not care about losing his life if he gives his team such a massive advantage afterwards.
This is just... the snowballing has started for Lash at least. He's moving bottom now. Maybe he can get the kill off on GH or Tiny.
And he just TP'd in very low, but Ghost is able to pop the God Strength and kill off the Hawk, who did go a little bit too far away from this Lash, and now they just toss Ghost forward. Look at the right-click damage. Laronoff may be very easily able to deal the damage, but he's not able to take it. He goes down, granting a double towards Nigma Galaxy.
The snowball move, like snowball started rolling and then it hit the wall. And the wall is the Sven. He's just a very welcomed influx of gold for the Sven, who's now on 7.2k net worth. Has Halberd completed and 500 gold on top to get his blink.
Dire's middle tower
He's
is under
kinda
attack.
big. Like, this is a lot of net worth 12 minutes in. 4-1-0 on the Sven.
Might be one of the first games we've seen from Nigma Galaxy where they're doing well, but Sumail is also at the bottom of the net worth. But I'm gonna try and change his fortune once he gets into a BKB. For now, Dahak has also decided, let me vacate this side of the map. I need some items. I need to get to this Blade Mail to try and... I mean, it does help this Sven, right? Just given how much damage they deal per hit, really can have an influence on the fights.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
So they do manage to finally get the Tier 1 tower in the top lane from Noob, putting this Helm to good work. So some space opened up on the map. TA2000 had already retreated deep into the jungle. He has his relic flying out to him right now. So we're not that far away from having the Radiance for this lifestealer.
Radiant are scanning.
It does look like they want to try and potentially kill him, but no blink available just yet for Momar. It'll take a little bit more time before he has that availability, and they do kind of need it, right? He's the one that needs to be the one moving forward. You don't want Sumail to always have to commit a full rebound to start the fights for you.
I have one question. You can't Midas or enchant the dominated creep anymore, right? Like, that's the recent change from 738B. Can you infest
I believe so,
it?
yeah. They now
Can
count as zero creeps.
Yeah, can you infest it though?
I don't know. That's a good question. I do not know. Well, that's something we'll probably get an answer to throughout the course of this game.
Because basically it's a creep hero, so you shouldn't be able to insta-kill it with anything anymore. So I suppose you can't infest it, which makes like a huge difference for this build of Beastmaster into the Lifestealer. Helm of Overlord just becomes much stronger in this matchup.
Now the better question will also be, if you can't infest the regular one, right? If you get Aghanim Scepter, do you then gain the ability to infest those creeps?
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah, because you can infest heroes, right? Like, you should be able to infest them. But can you insta-kill them when you go out? Global, top lane, well...
They're gonna try and insta-kill him though, with the Global Silence being thrown on top of his head. Ghost able to burst him down with the God Strength and the newly revealed Blink Dagger. Very nicely done by Nigma Galaxy, and they're immediately going back mid to push the Tier 1 tower.
And they killed him. Like, I'm talking about his infest. He wishes that he infested something because he was so close to the Radiance. He could have completed it, but they might get the shard here for someone. Not the best shards on supports, I have to say. Like, both on the Tinker, it's alright, but Tinker and Rubik, there are definitely supports with better shards in the game. Gotta be careful here.
They're gonna come back middle. Primal Roar being thrown out onto the bristleback. Look at the damage that the Hawk is taking. Man, Ghost just blinked in front of him when he could not turn away. Whacks him in the head and he ends up dying right then and there. No help incoming from VP. Now they can just go Roche immediately.
I'm not sure if you could help him. Like, he just went in very recklessly. Like, he moved in, bluffing that they won't go on him, but Lorinov was on bot lane, so they had some info to work with. A really big pick off, especially slowing down that Lotus Orb as well. And now Roche is, like you said, absolutely free.
Aegis now for Noob. And this is gonna bring bad tidings. It's not just an Aegis that's been completed for the Beastmaster. We are, what, 400 gold away for a BKB on Marcy. And we just got a blink on Omar. For me, that's the really big item that could open up the map with Nigma now, with this Aegis also in tow.
Absolutely big timings coming up for them. There are some timings on the other side, of course, that finally... they've been delayed, but some items did eventually come true. Like, you do have the Radiance now on Lifestealer, diminishing some of the damage that Sven can deal. But it's not that great, because this Sven as well could just disassemble and go for the BKB very soon. He's not far from it.
Still, the overall VP does hold on to the gold lead. So Rain and the boys, it's not that much cause for massive concern just yet. They're still moving forward. Armlet being built up by the Lifestealer. We almost have a plate mail as well for Lorinov, so he can decide to keep it casual for now until he finishes his Shivas later, or just immediately go into the item. They do have some options on the horizon for VP.
Bottom tower is under attack.
They want to pressure in the top lane. Warp Flare will push back Omar from Rain, so in that exact moment, he's like, man, I'm glad I got this Aghanim shot.
It helps out sometimes. Like, it's not the worst shard, truly. Like, it's not like a shard on Tiny when he's a support or Muerta, but it's alright, I guess. B tier for me.
I think they want to go top to mount a defense there because they've not really been hard committing to this push. Just have a slight Beastmaster army from Noob.
The Hawk
with
down
his Shaman.
bot. The Sumail is invis.
Sumail is indeed invis. Omar is here as well. Global Silence will be out, and there they got him. Do they have the damage to kill him though? Blade Mail gonna do quite a bit, but not enough to really dissuade them from finishing him off.
Top lane.
And once the BKB finishes, he does end up dying. In the meantime, on the other side, they started a fight. They're going onto the Global Silence. They managed to bring him down. They were hoping to chase down Noob, but he does TP out to safety.
I love how you called him the Global Silence. They went on the Global Silence and they killed the Global Silence guy. Yeah, I mean, that Silencer truly is Global Silence more than everything else. If you could replace one hero with a single spell, Silencer would probably be up there. You don't even have to be on the map. Just have that spell ready every... Oh, by the way, Rubik stole Global Silence. Now this is a mistake from our boy GH. Absolutely not something that should happen.
Alright, man. That's, you know, when we were talking about like the kind of spells he can steal in the draft, I didn't even bring up that he could steal global because generally it's impossible, but this is legit game changing if they can make a strong play off of this. And I'm not, do Nigma know is the question.
They should. I feel like this should be pinged out at least. If you don't ping this out, it's like such a massive mistake. They do have Aegis for another minute more. Also a full pipe completed on Noob in a second.
You know, by the way, you're talking about like how Silencer can be replaced by the global. Do you remember TI-22 in Singapore where half the game was literally Silencer just chilling in the fountain waiting to cast a spell? Now, he's going forward. There's going to be the stolen global. They go in onto Noob. They're able to get the first kill onto the Beastmaster. Sven with the God Strength trying to do what he can, but he's losing too much HP. There was a very big avalanche though. Omar opened up up the space, and now they bring back Lorinov into the hands of Ghost. They beat his ass down. The original Global Silence comes in right now to ensure that they can finish off this fight. The Hawk held in place by these Avalanche. The rebound, the dispose, God strength on the back line. Goes, cleaves through the Tinker onto the Bristleback to earn himself a triple kill.
You can say what you will about Ghost, that he got carried a couple of these games in the qualifier, but he is putting his whole team on his back. Omar as well, beautiful initiation in the back, followed up by Marcy, of course, as well. Global Silence was cool from VP, but they used it on a target that already had Aegis. I wonder what forced their hand. Like, they could have waited a while longer for the Aegis to expire. It was on a 50 seconds cooldown at that point. I feel like they definitely could have had a better chance to use the global. It wasn't running out or anything.
The sad thing is, if you look at that fight and the damage they dealt, they came fairly close to killing a lot of these heroes. So if they were better positioned with the timing, if Global had come during the latter portion of the fight, after the Beastmaster had already died, they could have done some massive work there. But unfortunately for them, it all ends up going to nothing. And they only get one kill, and it's only onto an Aegis, no less.
Absolutely. Getting a little bit antsy there and striking too soon.
Smoke up now by Nigma. We see Ghost moving around with GH. GH has 25 seconds until he has the global, but might not feel it's strictly necessary. And they're drawing a very accurate line as to where these heroes could be, but they change tacks. They might go towards middle, they even pop some drums. Omar, his smoke will break, they're gonna go on to 1J and they should be able to kill him.
He dies in a second. It's like they picked this Rubik very early on, but it's such a damn rough Rubik game. Like, you get clipped by a stun from Sven, Marcy jumps you, Global Silence, last word. Top lane, smoking up. They're hunting while they're pushing.
It's Marcy. Oh
Dude,
my god! That was one of the sickest things I've ever seen. Rebounding off of an illusion to cancel the TP of the Lifestealer, and now here comes Omar with the Avalanche toss. TA2000 just dead? Bro, Sumail god, the king is back. That was actually crazy.
Yeah, a very good play. It was off screen, guys, but he used the illusion to send it forward so he can stop the TP out from the Lifestealer. Like Snare called out very nicely. By the way, one thing that I am still shocked on VP is how much damage this goddamn blade mail is doing on Bristleback. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, they need Vlads. Like, I feel like this Beastmaster should just get Vlads. Get some region going at least. Lifesteal going while you're hitting him.
We spoke about it earlier on, right? Once he gets the blade mail, there's Sven with God Strength, Marcy, even the Beastmasters. A lot of like AoE damage that's hard for the enemy team to just target around you. So it's gonna hurt them quite a bit when you activate that item. We'll see if they can get this fight going though. Marcy is not here, so this could actually be a numerical overload for Virtus.pro, but unfortunately, not only do they not know that Marcy is not here, their initiation is really tough. It's only really Lorinov that can do it. There's no Blink Dagger on this 1J Rubik, so nobody else can move forward and find a stun.
Well, maybe Lorinov can do it. Like you said, he does have the Blink to work with.
Does indeed. There we go. Takes the stun forward, but unfortunately blinks into a Global Silence God Strength stun from Sven. Lorinov dies, so does the Lifestealer, who was the cargo within him. Another rebound that stuns up onto 2 as 1J disappears. Rain and Dahak can do nothing but watch. They will finish off Rain. Dahak will attempt his TP out. At least he'll be allowed to leave. But everybody else, no such option available. And Nigma don't even lose a single hero.
Yeah, that's a very small, thin silver lining that Bristleback managed to live. That was absolutely perfect from Nigma. Instant response, which is crazy, right? But they did show themselves on the side of VP. They were smoked, but Nigma knew 100% that they're being hunted down by the smoke. Very good response, regardless. Instant ghost and instant ghost jump and instant Global Silence.
You see, this performance from Ghost is why I wanted to say in a previous game he's stable, not necessarily sacrificial. Because when you need this guy to perform, And Sumail's not doing so well.
Scanning.
He's like, don't worry, gang. I got you.
For sure, for sure. Proving his worth in this game. 100%.
So the question is now what? If you're on the side of Virtus.pro, what's the plan and what items can we buy that's going to sort of change the course of the game right now?
Like, what do you do? Like, I feel like you need a lot of ways of dealing with Ghost. Maybe an Aghanims even on the Lifestealer down the road. He's so poor though. This is the problem. The Lifestealer has 11k net worth. Your Tinker has 8.5k net worth. Position 5 Tinker, so he really isn't finding any space on the map.
Crazy thing as well is now they already have this MKB on Ghost, so not at all concerned about this Radiance mischance. But Lifestealer, by contrast, very concerned if a Sven is right next to him. At the very least, they do get themselves a shard, you know. So some defensive ability being picked up for 1J. That's something.
The Rosh will scream though. And do you have any offensive abilities to go into the pit? Most certainly not. At least Sven might not be the greatest Aegis carrier, but this man has been, even without God's Strength, I feel like he's contributed a lot in these fights, just because he's so far ahead. He's 20k net worth, 26 minutes in. Like, even without God's Strength, I feel like he's doing work. Nice little snatch by Rubik. Warcry is a decent spell to get here. A lot of armor.
Do you think that if you steal a defensive spell like Warcry, that it should also be buffed by Arcane Supremacy?
Yeah, it would be cool. You mean like a percentage-based addition to the bonus armor? Or something like that? It would be nice to have that kind of an ability, sure. Because it would, I actually wouldn't mind Rubik being buffed up a little bit at all. I don't think the hero is in the best spot. Mid lane?
I agree with that. Ah, bro, Noob! Noob still thinks he's playing Medusa, gang. He's not so concerned about any of this right now.
Amar and Ghost.
Almost caught the Hawk here, but they'll let him go, chillin'. They seem so unconcerned with how they responded to that aggression from Nigma.
Nigma as well, just not really initiating in some proper way, just very nonchalant in the way that they're approaching these fights.
A tithe to the impurities.
Because they can, right? You can jump in with Tiny and probably you'll live. They can't bring you down even if you miss your initiation. That's how far ahead they are.
They would love to get in through this mid lane. Dahak is gonna do his utmost to defend this. With their Matrix being provisioned by Rain. It's not an easy kill to get, but nonetheless, here's the toss back. He's roared. Global silence is out. Woo!
Where'd he go?
Alright, there used to be a Bristle back there, but he is just gone. Does have buyback though. TA2000 was dragged back in by the Harpoon, but the Yules onto Ghost will protect TA2000 for now. Unfortunately, no Yules for the building, so the mid lane of Rax will fall without too much effort.
The lift was used on the creep, nothing massive. God's Strength doesn't really have a lot of it left, so let's see if they even back out after. I feel like they could still continue pushing. You have the damage from Unleash if the fight starts.
Enough goes in. They want to try get Ghost. They missed the split earth though. That's unfortunate. They don't get him, and now Sumail going in with the dispose onto Laranov, but he's going to be okay. Defensive telekinesis from 1J will secure his life. And as the Hawk is about to respawn, and as they lack that God Strength you mentioned, they will choose to retreat, but they still walk away with the full lane of Rax, a tier 3 tower, and the death of a Bristle.
Just clean execution, just like in game number 2. Laranov is still smoked up from Ninja Gear, and he's hunting. But yeah, won't find anyone for now, it seems like. Yeah, Nigma, they're just very clean. This is way more disciplined than what I've seen from them in the past. They're just, they go in, they take the objective, they move out. And then they rinse and repeat. And same thing happened in the last game.
Also, Sumail went from being the lowest net worth core 10 minutes ago to now being third on the shots. Big transformation for him in this game.
And what's also cool is he is sort of being carried, right? Like he doesn't have to do all too much in this game, and he can basically itemize into whatever is needed. So he went for a nullifier, and you are playing into a tinker, right? So this nullifier is really damn nice in Sumail.
Radiant are scanning.
He's about to reveal it as well as they're coming in. They smoke through the mid lane. They see TA2000. Oh no, this is pain and suffering. The worst possible target to lose first, and he's gone. No buyback available for TA2000 here. Your carry is dead to rights, and they can still come keeping for this fight. God's Strength is still available. Loranov taking so much damage. He dies to the Unleashed God's Strength right click. Rain will follow him into the grave, and Dahak, although he's able to stand his ground, although he's not dying, it ultimately does not matter. GG, well played is called. Nigma Galaxy have won the grand finals and